So this is a short chapter called A Ride More Fly from my new book, Mistakes on the Path, about my time with Osho. This takes place in the castle in New Jersey where he was staying after Pune 1 and before we went to the ranch. It was up very high on a hill. A Ride More Fly. Somehow Bhagwan had managed to get a driver's license right away, and someone must have given him a Rolls Royce. So he now took 2 drives a day, morning and evening, and for each of these rides 2 people would be invited to come along. They would be notified well in advance so that they'd have time to bathe, brush teeth, and put on fresh clothes. One evening we'd all gathered under the trees outside the big steps that led down from the main house to wait for his appearance. The big, sleek, classic car was waiting there, and Nivadano the drummer led the musicians in playing, while we all clapped and sang. Suddenly, I simply knew that he was going to ask me to come along tonight, though I had not been notified, and I was horrified. My teeth were unbrushed after dinner, I had not bathed, my hair was a mess, and to top it off, my trousers wouldn't zip. I'd been replenishing all the weight I'd lost from dengue fever that I'd had in Pune. My corduroy trousers were partly open under a t-shirt. Bhagwan emerged from the main door, all glowing in his white robe. He teetered a little there in his not quite in a body way, and then he said softly, almost too low to hear, "Madhuri?" And he looked at me. So I went to the car and was shown to the back seat next to a guy from accounting. Vivek sat on the other side of him. Bhagwan drove, and beside him was his doctor, a cuddly bear American, whose name I forget. Rapidly it grew dark. We drove through suburbs, and then, accelerating up the on-ramp, we swung out onto the freeway. An expert foot on the accelerator kept us flying, faster now and faster. Nobody said a word. In fact, during that entire drive, only one thing was said, and that by Bhagwan. He was accelerating again. Yes, we were speeding, when we passed a white car with a woman driver. She glanced over at us and did a double take with a look of worried surprise. Then we zoomed far ahead. "Ha ha," Bhagwan chuckled naughtily. "We really scared that woman." What went on inside a poor mortal in that hurtling metal can was something else. I was sitting not 2 feet away from him for an hour and a half, and my mind went nuts. It bounced about the inside of the car like letters in alphabet soup, noisy as hell, and its content was mortifying. It obsessed about how my unbrushed teeth might be offending his nose, about how gross it was of me to ride with him with my trousers unzipped, about how, of course, he could hear all this crap my mind was shouting. It seemed to me he was the unwilling witness to what people do in their bathrooms when nobody is watching. Oh, Lord, what I felt was thorns and brambles and shame. Strangely, I wasn't afraid we'd crash, though we were going way too fast. Crashing with Osho just didn't seem to be something worthy of fear. What a way to go. The ride was amazing. In fact, the smooth projectile force flattened us back in our seats as gravity climbed, spaceship style. His presence, well, you know, it kind of just creams your brains like they're in a blender or melting in a saucepan ready to become sauce. Whatever of them isn't resisting like mad. It was epic, it was enchanted, magic transported, all that too. It was sensual, the speed, the transported state, immensely. When we returned to the castle, everybody piled out. As usual, the passengers were giggling, careening, high and giddy. Bhagwan, of course, stepped sedately, smiling, apparently delighted with the fun of the jaunt. I fell out, crouched over, and I kind of crawled to my pallet in the turret, feeling like I'd been run over by a truck. For the next few days, any chance I got, I went up to my bed and just lay down. I was totaled, smashed. I didn't know why. I was ashamed of what had come out from under rocks and paraded itself in front of him in the intimate ether of the vehicle. And most of all, I was scared witless of my master. Scared of what? I cannot tell you even now. Some existential ruthlessness, something like what outer space might be like, if you were to float around in it.